Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this week's College Planning Tip of the Week. I'm Jack, and with me, as always, is Nancy Steenson from Steenson College Coaching. Nancy, this week there's a great question that I often get. What's more important, weighted or unweighted GPA?
That's a great question. The answer is neither. So, the first thing that students and parents want to tell me when we meet for the first time is their GPA. My son has a 4.34, or I'm so proud I've got a 3.99. Here's the thing. The only value that GPA really has is for a high school to be able to rank their students, which has its own value. It's a conversation for another day. But you have to remember that all high schools weigh different classes differently. So some high schools will give you a point 0.3 bump or a point 0.6 bump or a point 0.4 bump for an honors or for an AP class. Some high schools don't give you any bump at all for rigorous classes. So there's no way that colleges can compare these GPAs. Some students have a 4.45, another student has a 3.72 from a different high school, and guess what? They've got the same exact grades. So it becomes a really, really meaningless number. It also becomes a little bit comical because what does a 4.45 really mean on a 4.0 scale? So we've kind of, things have become crazy in terms of the numbers that we're seeing. So here's the thing. Colleges are not really going to look at your GPA. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The main thing they care about is the classes you chose to take. They know that you have choices. So the first filter with many schools, especially highly selective schools, the first filter when they're looking at that application for the first time is going to be the classes that you chose to take. And they're going to compare that, as we discussed, against the school profile. They're going to compare it against the choices that you had. Then, on a second pass, just for the sake of argument, then they're going to look at the grades you received in the classes that they care about. So they may not care what grade you got in music or PE or other electives. Every college is different, but they're really going to be looking at your academic classes, your core academic classes. They're really going to be looking at the rigorous academic classes that you took. And sometimes they will recalculate your GPA based on their own metrics. So depending on the school, they'll pull in certain classes that they care about. Again, most likely those core academics. They'll come up with their own GPA, often unweighted, because the weighting that you would get from taking AP classes or honors, that's all in black and white for them on your transcript, because really that's what they care about to begin with. So as I said, in college admissions, there are two separate issues. The classes you chose to take is one criterion, and the grades you got in those classes is a completely separate criterion. That's how college admissions looks at it. High schools sort of mix those two criteria into a GPA. Classes you took, how rigorous are they, and the grades you got. So high schools look at it very differently than college admissions do, and it doesn't really matter what your GPA is. What matters, and the main thing people should remember, is the classes you took and the grades you got in those classes.
That's a great tip, and that's great information. Hopefully, that'll clear up a lot of confusion on the parts of students and families. Thanks so much for joining us this week for the College Planning Tip of the Week. Stay tuned for next time when we share another great tip. Stay safe, everyone, and have a great day.
Bye.